The spice must flow, but a new tide is about to wash over Arrakis. On August 12th, Dune Awakening is set to unleash its latest and most impactful update yet, patch 1.1.2.0. While many are eager for the fixes and the quality of life improvements, make no mistake, this isn't just a simple polish. This is a game-changing update with the potential to either save the game by fixing its most frustrating issues or completely break the delicate balance of life and death on this unforgiving planet. From a complete overhaul of base building that could leave your carefully crafted fortress in ruins to a ruthless new approach to the deadly sandworms, this patch is going to redefine what it means to survive in the deep desert. So, what exactly is coming? And what do you need to do to prepare before the sands of time run out? Let's dive in. So there are a wide range of changes, fixes, and quality of life improvements which are going to be implemented across the board here. Starting off, we have the new concept of sandworm collisions, which are now going to be lethal. That's right, there's no more TikTok videos where people can jump on the back of the worm and survive. You are gonna die, because what's happening here is they've created any collision with a sandworm's body to now result in instant death or vehicle destruction. This eliminates an old exploit where players could survive the encounter by using their belts to jump over the mouth and onto the back. It's just that sandworm is gonna die, which is gonna be kind of confusing for me because, hey, guess what? They're also claiming we're gonna be able to ride sandworms. Well, there's gonna have to be something fixed there before you can jump on the back of sandworms, because obviously you're going to die if you get anywhere close to it. Its skin is lava. Sandworm attacks are also going to become much faster because in the deep desert they have a 50% chance of using a shorter, quicker breach animation and making encounters way more dangerous. So what I think that they're doing here is that we had it more or less figured out as a community how to control that sandworm, and there was getting to the point where people were not losing anything and they were controlling how it was coming up and knowing when to pick up or when to set back down. It looks like they are trying to throw a wrench into that system and make it a lot more difficult for us to understand when those sandworms are going to attack, and when they do come, it's going to be a lot faster. Not only that, but melee combat and perks have a lot of updates coming here too. So for example, there are going to become melee animations and skill perks for everybody using different skill sets in the game. For instance, the penalty to headshot damage from the center of mass technique has been increased, while the body damage penalty from the marksman technique has been removed all the way. So it looks like they are going to be paying homage to those individuals who have the ability to aim and headshot for the win. Now, in terms of resource gathering and economy, this has been a huge gripe of people on this channel, in the community, and across the board for anyone playing this game. So what we are going to see coming up here on the 12th is a new resource node distribution. Basically, the number of titanium and stravinium nodes have been increased. This is going to include within the shield wall area. However, the highest quality of plastinium tier resources will remain in the PvP section of the deep desert. The respawn time for plastinium nodes has also been slightly reduced as well inside of the overall deep desert. So what we can look at here is that many people have been complaining because obviously the majority of those nodes are sitting out there in the deep desert, and they're trying to find a few things that make it where they don't have to get out and do PvP interaction. Well, it looks like they're trying to solve it by spreading it out. I personally have noticed a lot of spreading out of these resources as the last 4 weeks have passed, so it looks like they've been trying to implement this as they go. But either way, they're acknowledging it and telling people, look, you are going to be able to find these resources everywhere in the deep desert now. So if someone is building or blocking on top of a resource, it looks like you'll be able to hopefully find a way to get those in-game nodes without having to be too upset and going out and getting killed. As for the Haga Basin, the location of flower sand and spice sand fields in the Haga Basin has been redistributed, moving them into areas where sandworms can reach them. This makes farming these resources a heck of a lot more hazardous. This comes to mind because there were a few patches of the flower sand where you could literally just mine up all of the flower sand and the sandworm couldn't do anything to you. And there was another one, at least up by the northern part of the rift, where you had half the flower on a savable or unattainable landmass for the worm to reach, and the other half was out there. So this was making it kind of unfair for people to get out there and do it. Actually, I don't mind, because I think the Haga Basin should be a more friendly environment for new players or people who don't react well or have disabilities to be able to like gather some of these resources in somewhat safety. But it looks like the devs at Funcom want us all to pay the price. There's also going to be an exchange system overhaul, and what we are talking about here is that the exchange has been improved with a new item search function and reorganized categories, making it easier to find new items out there in it. And of course, there are going to be some price adjustments, because the prices of certain items at vendors such as rockets and anti-radiation pills have been significantly reduced to make them more appealing to purchase by people, instead of going out into that desert and looking for the 1 in a million plant to get those iodine pills getting made. Now, in terms of vehicles, anti-griefing for ornithopters. Whoa, this is going to be massive, because there are a lot of people always complaining about how the ornithopters are just a griefing machine. A major quality of life change here is that a new knockback effect on colliding ornithopters is being implemented. This is specifically to prevent players from griefing others by swarming and trapping carrier ornithopters. This was that Goomba stomp where people are basically just popping on top of it and not allowing the bigger ornithopters to escape whenever they are running out, especially the carriers. So it looks like there's going to be that barrier finally getting implemented. They've been talking about this for a while, so I'm happy that this is going to be a reality now. There's also going to be a vehicle rebalancing. This means carriers or assault ornithopters have received new buffs, including increased speed and durability. So I think the assault is about to become a new viable attack ornithopter, and maybe we are seeing the days of the scout ornithopter with those rockets disappearing. Rockets have been made heavier and more expensive to craft also, but cheaper to buy, aiming to balance ornithopter PvP. I personally found that if you are going to make the scout ornithopter a rocket class ship and just completely leave the assault ornithopters out of the picture and making them useless, is absolutely just against what the lore and the concept of these devs were preaching to us as they were releasing the game. So hopefully this is going to help our assault ornithopters become more viable whenever they are taking it into the fields to destroy other people or other things. Base building and quality of life changes are also coming. We see the Penishield fix. This is a bug that allowed players to build Penishields without proper support, and this has been fixed. As a result, any bases built using this exploit will collapse when the patch goes live. So if you have done this, or you have a base standing with this exploit in it, make sure to take it down. Base management tools are also being introduced, because there are new modules that are being added to the base management menu that display information about a base's power supply, water storage, and inventory capacity, like anything that is keeping you informed, because I know I've had issues in the past where I could not tell when something was running out or where my water levels were. Now they're trying to make it more apparent and easier for you to actually see these things, so that you can get out there and you can attack these issues head on. As for base blueprint improvements, the Solido replicator will now encode placeables and decorations, allowing players to copy entire fully functional bases. This is going to be kind of big, because before it was just a shell that you're copying, but it looks like they're making it where you can set up that base with your generators and everything else put in it, copy it, and then when you set it down, you just have to add all of the required materials to make this thing work. Now you don't have to replace stuff, so you can start making those perfect bases and being able to display them as quickly as possible. There are also going to be deposit all buttons. These are for the blood purifiers and water cisterns, and this will be for the purpose that you used to have to actually click a million times to get the water out of your bags into these crafting tables, but now it looks like they are finally, what is this, a month and a half later, implementing a deposit all button. This is a big quality of life. I mean, if you are actually using those, I think at this point the vast majority of people are probably using some kind of passive water generation, but either way, it is good to have the deposit all buttons being displayed in their forest. And the corpse looting range will also be getting a small change. This is the range in which players can now loot corpses, and it has been increased for a smoother experience. So you no longer have to just stand right on top of the corpse. It looks like you'll be able to grab everything you need from them at a distance. There's also going to be a vast majority of like 100 bug fixes. A notable one would be preventing an exploit that allows players to use NPCs to destroy other players' bases in PvE areas, which is big. I know some people have complained about that. And of course, as always, the same thing that every dev team says, server stability and performance will be improved. Now overall, patch 1.1.20 focuses on improving the player's experience by addressing community reported issues, balancing the game's economy and combat, and enhancing quality of life through new features and bug fixes. The changes here to the sandworms and the ornithopters behavior in particular, I think are really going to be designed to curb griefing and make the world of Arrakis a more dangerous and unpredictable place for us to be roaming in. I cannot say yet as to whether this is actually going to be breaking the game, but I know there's going to be a lot of people complaining about some of these fixes, but I think there will be more people that are happy about it. So, in my opinion, this patch saves, not breaks, Dune Awakening. Everybody, thank you for watching. As always, I love having you here in the channel. And remember, if you have anything that you would like to add to this show, make sure that you leave it in the comments below, and I will make sure to get back to you and answer all questions, if not all comments. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.